Avoiding negative people is an essential life skill that plays a significant role in maintaining emotional well-being, mental health, and personal growth. While it's impossible to completely remove all negativity from our lives, understanding how to recognize and manage toxic interactions can help reduce their impact. Negative individuals often project their inner turmoil onto others, consciously or unconsciously spreading pessimism, criticism, and emotional turmoil. Their presence can sap your energy, distort your perspective, and hinder your motivation. Learning how to distance yourself from these individuals without compromising your own integrity is a delicate yet empowering process. One of the first steps to avoiding negative people is becoming aware of their patterns. They often complain excessively, criticize others frequently, and focus heavily on problems rather than solutions. Their conversations revolve around blame, fear, gossip, or victimhood. Interacting with them might leave you feeling drained, frustrated, or even guilty for emotions that don't belong to you. These feelings are signals that someone is affecting your mental and emotional balance. Trusting your instincts in these situations is important, as your body and emotions often recognize toxicity before your mind fully processes it. Once you've identified the people who negatively affect your well-being, it's time to implement subtle yet firm boundaries. These boundaries don't have to be dramatic. They can start with something as simple as reducing your time with them. If you're in a conversation that starts to veer into negative territory, you can excuse yourself or change the subject. If you're being pulled into gossip or venting that isn't productive, you might say, "I understand you're frustrated, but I'd rather talk about something more positive." It's not your job to fix their mood or validate their negativity. Your responsibility lies in preserving your own peace. In some cases, avoidance may not be entirely possible, especially when the person in question is a coworker, family member, or someone in your daily environment. In these situations, managing your reactions becomes crucial. Practicing emotional detachment can be incredibly effective. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you choose not to engage emotionally with the negativity. You observe rather than absorb. Think of it like watching a storm through a window rather than standing in the rain. Developing this skill requires self-awareness and emotional maturity, but over time it strengthens your mental resilience. You can also limit the topics of conversation to neutral or positive ones. When someone begins to rant or complain, redirecting the dialogue to something constructive or uplifting can gradually train them to shift their behavior around you. People often respond to the emotional environment we create. If you consistently refuse to feed into negative patterns, those patterns may lose their grip over time. However, it's essential to remain consistent. If you occasionally indulge in gossip or negativity yourself, it can undermine your boundaries and confuse the signals you're sending. Another effective strategy is to surround yourself with positive, supportive, and growth-oriented individuals. The more time you spend with people who uplift you, the more aware you become of how damaging negative energy can be. Positive people inspire you, challenge you constructively, and support your progress. They help you focus on what's possible rather than what's wrong. Creating a strong, uplifting social circle provides emotional security and makes it easier to identify and distance yourself from people who do not serve your best interests. Sometimes, negative people are the way they are due to unresolved pain, fear, or trauma. While empathy is a powerful tool, it doesn't mean you have to suffer alongside them. Compassion doesn't require proximity. You can feel for someone without allowing them into your inner world. This distinction is critical in preserving your emotional integrity. You can care about someone and still limit their influence on your life. It's also not your job to heal or fix others unless they actively seek help and you're in a position to offer it in a healthy way. It's also worth examining your own role in attracting or tolerating negative people. Sometimes patterns in our relationships stem from unresolved internal issues. For example, if you have a tendency to people please, you may find it hard to say no to those who dump their emotional burdens on you. Or, if you struggle with low self-esteem, you might feel like you don't deserve better treatment. Working on these inner beliefs through reflection, therapy, or personal development can help you build the confidence to choose healthier connections and walk away from toxic ones. Self-care also plays a significant role in reducing the impact of negative people. When you're rested, grounded, and confident, you're less likely to be affected by others' moods or comments. Meditation, exercise, journaling, spending time in nature, and engaging in hobbies you love can help you stay centered. When your cup is full, negativity bounces off more easily. It becomes a matter of choice rather than compulsion. You respond instead of react, and you gain control over your inner space. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for dealing with negativity. By staying present in the moment, you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions and can better recognize when someone is pushing your buttons. Instead of being drawn into their drama or emotional chaos, you learn to observe what's happening without getting pulled under. This presence allows you to maintain your energy and clarity, even in difficult interactions. It also helps you notice how certain people or situations trigger patterns in you, which can then be addressed more deeply. Communication skills are vital when dealing with negative people. Being assertive, clear, calm, and respectful can make a huge difference. You don't have to be aggressive or confrontational. Simply stating your needs and limits can shift dynamics. For instance, "I don't want to continue this conversation because it's not helping either of us." Or, "Let's focus on finding a solution instead of just pointing out the problems," can set a healthy tone. Learning to say no without guilt is also crucial. Boundaries are not selfish, they're self-respect in action. There may be times when cutting someone off completely is the best and only option. This can be painful, especially if it's a longtime friend or family member. But if the relationship is consistently toxic and offers no room for growth or mutual respect, letting go may be the healthiest choice. You can do this kindly but firmly, explaining your reasons if necessary, or simply stepping back gradually until the connection dissolves. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some serve as lessons, others as mirrors, and a few as companions for the long haul. It's also helpful to have a mental filter for what you allow to affect you. Just because someone says something doesn't make it true or worth your emotional energy. Not all opinions are valuable, and not every criticism deserves your attention. When someone projects their insecurities onto you, remember that it reflects more about them than it does about you. You don't have to carry their baggage. Visualize returning it to sender and move forward with clarity. In the digital age, negative people can also show up online, on social media, forums, or messaging apps. Managing your digital boundaries is just as important. Unfollow or mute accounts that spread negativity. Take breaks from platforms that leave you feeling anxious, angry, or depleted. Curate your online space the same way you would your physical one. You have the power to choose what you consume, and your mental diet matters just as much as your physical one. Ultimately, avoiding negative people isn't just about them. It's about honoring yourself. It's about deciding that your peace, focus, and growth are worth protecting. It requires self-awareness, courage, and consistency. It's not always easy, but it becomes easier with practice. Each time you make a choice that favors your well-being, you strengthen your boundaries and self-worth. You teach others how to treat you, and more importantly, you teach yourself what you deserve. Growth often means outgrowing people, habits, and environments that no longer align with your path. This process can be lonely at times, but it's also liberating. In the space created by letting go of negativity, new and healthier relationships can emerge. People who see your light rather than try to dim it. People who challenge you in constructive ways, support your dreams, and walk beside you with integrity. Avoiding negative people doesn't mean avoiding all conflict or difficulty. Life will always have challenges, and real relationships involve ups and downs. The difference lies in intention, effort, and mutual respect. People who care about you will take accountability, grow with you, and contribute to a healthy emotional ecosystem. Those who consistently bring chaos, drama, or criticism without growth are not your responsibility to fix. You owe it to yourself to create a life that reflects your values, energy, and potential. Learning to avoid negative people is a journey. It begins with awareness, builds with boundaries, and flourishes with self-respect. As you grow more in tune with your emotional health, you'll find it easier to recognize who belongs in your space and who doesn't. And when you do, you'll create not just protection from negativity, but a sanctuary for positivity, purpose, and peace.